listening to VGM Awesome on Bradley Stoke Radio. VGM Awesome. It's awesome.
That piece. Have you heard that piece before?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, I'm a big fan of the World of Warcraft soundtrack and score, but that piece for me, because again it's different, you know, that it's very eerie, very spooky, with a sort of female lead. But what's interesting to note about a lot of these concerts, what they're trying to do, you know, not only are they, you know, furthermore putting video game music on the map and showing how far artistically it's come over the last couple of decades, but it really is trying to bridge that gap between classical music and today's kind of orchestral music or classical music. You know, it's the ultimate goal for a lot of these orchestrators, composers and producers of these concerts, just to have a kid these days pick up an instrument. You know, it's not about like, oh, that's a cool tune from a cool game. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but pick up an instrument. Why not? You know, and if video games can be a vehicle for that, then amazing. What's that face for?
That was my thoughtful face. I agree.
It really is. I mean, I think certainly from my point of view, playing piano. I mean, I played piano before I really got into video game music, but I started taking notice of music certainly from a classical point of view, because a lot of the music is composed with a lot of classical forms. I mentioned earlier on during the Medal of Honor Frontline Operation Market Garden piece of Michael Giacchino. That takes on the sonata form, which is a classical form, you know, and all kinds of pieces are doing that in many different manners. And if a kid, you know, picks up an instrument because they like the music from Halo, Mario, Sonic, whatever, then job done.
I loved the music in Sonic on the Mega Drive, and that inspires me to write 8-bit music myself.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, what the impact you can have with just a very simple melody and sort of bass line and percussion line, and that's all these guys had back in the day. You know, that melody had to be key, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, back in those days, late 80s and into the early 90s, you know, so many memorable melodies came out of, you know, likes of Mario, Zelda, Sonic, Mega Man, Castlevania, all these amazing greats. But yeah, VGM Awesome. VGM 28. Here we go. I like that. That was a bit for the best bits. But Crofty, you want to talk a bit more about sound design?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yes, of course.
Of course, I was waiting for you to shut up. Go.
Well, this is for the benefit of any indie developers out there, any sound designers out there. So
do you need help?
just take notice, okay? Because what I'm going to
tune.
Game over, boy.
Game over.
It's game over for you, boy. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So let's talk about poor sound design in games, okay? And these are things that you shouldn't be doing, okay? So first on my list, okay, is Halo, okay?
You shouldn't be doing.
Do you know what? I knew this was coming up today. I really did. You're not a fan of the Halo franchise, still, are you?
The sound design in Halo is what ruins it for me. They've done everything wrong, basically. It just doesn't fit in with everything. It doesn't fit in with the aesthetics of the world, because the world's kind of like very it's quite fantasy, but sci-fi. You know, it's quite kind of like, you know, high sci-fi in a way. But none of the sound effects suggest this at all. I mean, like, the sounds from the rifle sound really mundane. The submachine gun sound is awful. The Needler is pitiful.
The Needler's an awful gun anyway. Like, everything about it is bad.
It sounds even worse. It doesn't feel like you're invested in this in the world. If you turn the sound off and you play some heavy metal, okay, it's not bad.
Is that what you did? To get yourself through it.
That's the only way that I can play
Power through.
No, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying there. I mean, I played Halo quite late on, and I only got into it again because of the music. I love the music to Halo; it's amazing. But you're right. It does. Going back to what you said about Battlefield, where it kind of gives you that distance. Obviously, it's from a later console, so the quality is better. But it broke down the immersion for me. I like things authentic. You know, it could have been a crazy sound, but if it was kind of authentic to what I mean. The Needler is a crazy gun. It has to have something alien about it.
Damn straight.
You know.
You tell them.
Well, yeah, there you go. But it does. You know, it's like, you know, for example, what's the best example? A lightsaber. You know, if you had the lightsaber from the start, well, exactly. It's a great sound, isn't it? And there's nothing else like it, and it's perfect for that weapon.
Yeah.
The Needler just don't have it.
Okay, to upset even more fans, next on my list is Morrowind. The spell sounds in particular are just awful. They're really disjointed, and they're the same sound all the time for whatever spell you're casting. And if you're casting multiple spells, it really gets on your nerves. It goes on for too long. It's too invasive in your ears. and it doesn't give any indication about what spell you're casting. Whereas in Morrowind and in Oblivion and Skyrim, there is different sounds for different types of spells. Particularly in Skyrim, the sound design in Skyrim is spot on.
Really,
I'm so glad about that because in Morrowind it was awful. The next game, Eve Online, the MMO. Okay, it sounds. It's repetitive and it's so like spacious and there's not a lot of sound going on. You could say it's a space game, you know, you're not really supposed to be anything going on. But the game is pretty complicated because it is comparable to an Excel spreadsheet. So it's very difficult to understand exactly what's going on at the same time, like what's going on when stuff is happening. And they could have helped you by using sounds, decent sounds rather. Because you get like a lock-on sound when you're being targeted, but why didn't they do different lock-on sounds depending on the strength of the target or the distance? Or
would that have been down to maybe, not maybe lack of budget, but lack of time within the production, or lack of space within the hardware or something?
They're updating Eve all the time. It's like on a monthly update. I think that they're just not thinking about it enough. They've had a lot of problems with the user interface, which they're cleaning up. So they are getting their act together, which is good.
You know what they need to do though? They need to employ you. That big old cranium. You're like Egon Spengler from the Ghostbusters.
Oh, shut up, man.
He's a good character. He's a stud.
This game that's like comparable to an Excel spreadsheet. So you're playing on an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, fancy Excel spreadsheet. I like it, by the way.
Sounds
Before
really
anybody
cool.
sends any hate mail, I actually love Eve.
Scarily, I got warreling into Excel recently, so this sounds like my kind of game at the moment.
There you go.
There you go, Ross.
Yeah, you heard it here.
Okay, so in conclusion,
right.
Okay, what makes good sound design, okay, is that it has to fit the aesthetics of the game, it has to be unique, okay, you have to carry those themes through each game, and possibly anyway. And it doesn't have to be not tiresome on the ears. So it has to be gentle or whatever the effect that you're trying to achieve. You're going to hear it so many times over and over again. I'm like, even in Sonic, they got around that by just changing the velocity of the sound and panning the sound of the rings.
You're right. There's simple things you can do just to freshen up.
Just freshen up a little bit. Whereas in Morrowind, they didn't do that at all. So.
And in Halo.
But yeah, thanks for. That's really good to get on my chest.
Really, I can feel you're a bit more deflated now. It's like you can calm
it's
down.
like a therapy session.
All right, well, we're going to go on. We've only got time for a couple more tracks, but this is a really lovely piece. Again, performed live from Video Games Live, Baba Yetu from Civilization 4. Enjoy.